indeed, we'd like to say welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia. And this program is a European based platform. And we do come to you every Tuesday and Friday, sorry. And today being Friday, the 15th of November 2024, we're happy to be here with you. And together, you in the audience and we in studios will be able to have some wonderful time together. My name is Linford Goa, along with Jima Kamara and Paul the Lord Chirley, both in the UK. Uh, Francis Mensah will be joining us later on, if time permits. And together we'll be bringing you interesting discussions here. By way of information, we're supposed to have a guest. We will not break the name of the guest, but for those of you who follow us on Facebook, you may have seen the flyers for the guest, and we will leave you in suspense for now. For those of you who have not seen it, and when he comes, then we will break the news to you. But he's a very interesting guest, and I believe you would like to listen to what he has to say. But in the meantime, we'll be doing our newspaper review, looking at some of the major stories in some of the major newspapers in Liberia. As we know, there are things happening in Liberia every minute, and we need to follow them. And so we want to say, stay tuned. Welcome wherever you're joining us. We want to welcome you to the program, The Bottom Line Liberia. Once again, my name is Linford, and we're coming to you from Europe. We are a European-based platform. We will be right back.
You're watching the review of Liberian newspapers' headlines that made news during the week on the Bottom Line Liberia. Please join us every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Liberian time, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 Central European time.
And so we're here. Jima Kamara, well, you were in Manchester. Tell us, how's this weekend? In fact, last weekend or a weekend or two ago, I know there was a big event in Manchester. So tell us a little bit about it and what's happening there today or this weekend.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I want to say welcome to all those who join us, wherever you join us from. This is the Bottom Line Liberia, and I'm in Manchester, United Kingdom. By the way, before I go to the question my colleague asked me, by way of information, you can also catch us on our Bottom Line Radio 247. You can catch that as well, and also on our website. Linford, Manchester is always an action-packed place. We always have events, football, as well as entertainment, like a show. Last weekend, I think we have a couple of events taking place. If you really feel bored, you want to enjoy life, if you're flying around, you had a chance to come to UK, Manchester is a place to be. And if you're a lover of football, Man United, my city is also here. We also, our neighborhood is Bolton Wanderers. We also have Liverpool also here. A lot of big teams here. Weekends always packed, and it's just a couple of funds, Linford, and a couple of funds. Always come around, enjoy yourself. UK and Manchester is a specific place of enjoyment.
Wow, it sounds good. But Paul, you are in London, the capital city of the United of England. That's not the United Kingdom. But Paul, I want to clear my doubt before I make mistake. The United Kingdom includes all the other kingdoms around, all the other small countries around you, and England is that small island. So is London the headquarters for all of those countries that make up the United Kingdom, or is it only England? I lived in the UK for 4 years, but that I didn't know. So I need clarification.
Yeah, good evening, Linford. Good evening, Jema. and good evening to our viewers and our listening audience by radio and all that. So, yes, uh, United Kingdom, the capital is London. So, what happened? You have the seat of King James, and the seat of King James is where you have the parliament. So, all of these territory that they call, they have representation there. So that's the seat of King James is the capital of the United Kingdom. So United Kingdom composed of four countries. So you have England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Those four make the United Kingdom. So that's
Okay.
how it works. So the four countries come together, make United Kingdom. So, but then the way they do the power sharing, all of these countries, they also have first minister. The first minister is almost like a superintendent or a governor for province. So that's how it works. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, imagine living in the
So I
UK
hope
for
that answers
4 years.
your question.
Yeah, it really did. At least I know if anybody will ask me the capital city for all of the kingdoms that make up the United Kingdom, then I would say London. All in my mind, it was in the England because Northern Ireland, I think they have, I don't know, Belfast or something. And then Wales, they have no small one piece
Yeah.
city there. So, okay. Okay, but thank you very much, Paul. You know, we're in the process of learning
So
throughout,
so
and I
so
guess
so so, so you have Northern Ireland, Belfast is the capital. You have Scotland, Edinburgh is the capital. Then you have Wales, the capital is Cardiff. Then you have England, the capital is London. So, but London now, because England is bigger than all of the other countries around. So that's why the seat of King James. This is where it's not far from my good friend King Charles' house, which they call the Buckingham Palace. So yes, so anytime you come to London, welcome. This is the place. The small island that
I,
rule a lot of
I was
countries
in
in the world.
Southampton. I was in Southampton, though, but I visited Buckingham Palace. I think 2 or 3 different times, and then I always wanted to see the court of St James, and but I didn't have the opportunity to go there because every time we went to London, it was adult son school trip and so. But I want to say thank you very much for that education, and I hope most of our viewers would have also learned something like me, like I did tonight. But guys, if you just joining us for the first time, we're coming to you live on Bottom Line Liberia, and we are a European-based diaspora network, and we come to you every Tuesday and Friday. And like I told you earlier on, we're going to have a guest here tonight, and I believe our guest is in the background, and we wouldn't want to bow down the guest so much longer than expected. But I don't know, guys, what do you think? Should we bring on a guest now, or should we just take a quick review of some of the newspapers or what? Or probably the guest could be with us to also give his thought on some of the stories that will be in the news.
I think, yeah, certainly,
On the
because some of the
guests.
some of the newspapers outlines has to do with the topic the guest will be looking into. So I
Okay.
advise that we should bring it on.
Okay. And so we told you that we're going to leave you in suspense because the guest that we'll bring on is very familiar to most of you. And if you follow us on Facebook, each of us on Facebook today, you would have seen that we share the flyer. And so you may have some idea as to who's going to be coming on. But let's say, welcome to Mr. Fubi Henrys. This name is not strange. Anybody who has been following Liberian politics for the past, let me make it 12 years. The last session of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's regime, and George, we are 6 years. So let me make it, I don't know whether Fubi will agree with me, but let me make it 12 years. You guys, people might have heard this name. And every time I hear Fubi Henrys, I don't know, but my mind runs to the late Richie Henrys, and then also his late daughter Kula Henrys, who was my classmate. So no, at least I remember that name very well. But Fubi, we want to say welcome to you, and this is a Bottom Line Liberia.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kwe, Mr. Churukle, and Mr. Kamara. And it's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, so you are right. Been in the limelight for 12 years. So was glad to be here. And that's
Hmm.
my grandfather, Richie Henrys.
Okay. You see, Liberia is small, so at least we
Yeah,
know each other.
I
All
know.
right, gentlemen. I don't know if you want to give some welcome, warming remarks to Mr. Henrys as he's going to be our guest tonight, and just make him to feel at home.
Well, we'd like to say welcome to the Bottomland Liberia, Mr. Henry. It's good to have you for the very first time. We've been trying to get you on the platform for a while now, but it's good that you're here so we can have a very, very, very fruitful discussion tonight. It's good to have you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining, Mr. Harris. And we want you to be part of the bottom line every time, and we want to have you every time. I know you are a very powerful political house in Liberia, and we also want to have your comments and your thoughts on this program as well. So welcome and feel at home.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Okay, so we want to say welcome to most of our viewers, some of you whose names I see that appear on my dashboard. And if I don't mention you, sorry, that's not to ignore you, but I see Pataki, Mr. Thomas from Belgium or the Netherlands, and he's following us, and Jefferson Francis Koloko Jr., he's following from he said, I'm following Umpa. Yeah, follow boy. But welcome to all of you and invite your friends to join us. Jima, you want to drive us through with the newspapers very quickly? I mean, and then we can have Mr. Henry's.
If you mind just, John, I want to go through what we do here, Mr. Henry, is that we do some review of our daily newspapers. People may have read it before, and what we do is just take our look and give our own personal perspective on the newspaper headlines. We do a quick mini comment on it, personal comment, and so we would like to take the first issue here tonight. We'll be looking at it's up to you to make a comment of now. You want to reserve comment, it's up to you. You reserve the right to reserve comments. We're looking at some topics right now that made airlines in Liberian newspapers. The first one will be like the Russian-Liberian relationship. So this is the issue. Government flip-flops ties with Russia. That's one of the hot topics that are trending in Liberia today, where government came back and withdrew their comment and said, like, well, the state relationship stay the same. They have not renewed any relationship with Russia. So we'll before we go to our guest, Paul or Linford can start on, then we can go to our guest to give his comment on what do you think? Is government not telling us the truth? Are they making some relationship back door or having some arrangement at the back we don't know about? Because government is making some decision here, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs came by saying that, well, they have not renewed any relationship with Russia. Is this true? Do you think the government is not telling us the truth?
Paul, you want to go?
No, then for you go, I'll follow.
Okay. When it comes to the Liberia-Russia saga, I think government is trying to play safe here, because if you look at it, look at the geopolitical atmosphere. The atmosphere is charged right now when it comes to international politics, where Russia and America are involved. And so one, we want to be very, very careful, especially a country like Liberia. We want to be very, very, very careful to just take a definitive position, knowing fully well that we are tied up to America. We are tied up to America, and when it comes to the political strings between America and Russia, so we need to be very careful. And if you make a comparison, it will also be like the Chinese and Taiwan stuff, where Liberia has always been caught up between the two countries on the one China policy. So, and knowing that Liberia is heavily dependent on the United States of America, to the point where we cannot even decide some of our political decisions without involving America. and then the of course the financial aspect is there. So I think America, I mean, Liberia should be very careful, and that's why they're doing the playing safe. They don't want to come out and say yes, we are establishing our relationship with Russia, and knowing the consequences. So it's just my belief that I think they try to play safe here, but on a hand, I think something is happening.
Paul, what do you think before we go to our guest? Then from there, we'll go to the main topic. We should be looking at the fire in the house, the blazing fire in the House of Legislature. So, Paul, what do you think? What's going on? Is Liberia is afraid to say that they have a relationship with Russia in order not to dampen their good relationship with America. This is why they're coming and say, no, we have not renewed any relationship with Russia. We stay the same. Nothing has changed. What do you think? You also you live in Russia. You also went to school in Russia, Paul, if I may.
So, yeah, Jamal, thank you. The thing is, I don't see why the government should be afraid to say something. We have Russian embassy in Liberia before, from the Tobo era up to the Dole era before the war. There was Russian embassy. I got visa from the embassy to study in Russia. So I don't see. It was during the Cold War, Liberia had relationship with Russia. So why now? Why be afraid? If you claim to be a sovereign nation, you should not depend on somebody or be afraid of anyone. So Liberia has all right to be to partner with anyone diplomatically. During the Cold War, we had Russia, so there's no more Cold War. Why not? They just need to be bold enough to say it. That we want to establish diplomatic relationship. It have nothing to do with your partner that been working for over 100+ years. They were there before, so Civil War took them away. So if they want to come back, fair enough. Some of us benefited from the Russian. They gave us scholarships, so we're able to leave Liberia. So why not?
Right. Thank you. This will be the only newspaper headline we'll look into, not to waste too much of time. I guess if it's just joining, or we're first looking at newspaper headline on the Bottom Liberia tonight, with us a special guest is Mr. Honorable Phoebe Henry. He's a political heavyweight in Liberia. You may not know, you may have not seen him by face. He's with us tonight. He will be going to a deeper political issues in Liberia, trending issue, which is the house fire in the house, the blazing fire. What are the impact on the governance in Liberia? So we'll be looking at that. Before we go into the main topic tonight, pass on to Linford. I would like to, if the guest would mind to comment on this headline. Mr. Henry, welcome once again. Tell us, what do you think about the relationship with Liberian relationship with America? Should we still continue? Yeah, sorry, with Russia. And is it, my colleague just said, fear of America Liberian being sidelined. This is why they are saying, well, we do not have any relationship. We have not renewed any relationship with America. I mean, like with Russia, relationships stay the same. And we stay a good friend with America. Is this something they are not telling us that you know of? You can share with us tonight.
Yeah, so for international diplomacy, I think the government will not already disclose any tie with Russia, and not even at this time. And if you follow our politics, this is one of the things that led to the downfall of Togo. So I don't think any government will want to tread that path. So I think they are just trying to watch the thin line and make sure that they are in check. Because whatever like it or not, like Paul said, we stay deal with America, and that are key decisions. America has to have a say before we even move. You know, let's say if America say jump, we ask how high. We are even questioning why are we jumping. So that's key. So I don't think the government will want to temper with that kind of relationship at this time when the state of the economy is also not good, and there's a lot of pressure from the opposition and other guys. And we depending on America to push the war crimes code and other stuff. So there are a lot of things that we still depend on America for. And I don't think Russia will fit into that shoes automatically because you got own issues to deal with. So the government just have to know that they have to wipe that thin line and thread it perfectly.
Right. Gentlemen, if you have any question for our guests before Linfo, I'll pass on to you to start with the topic of tonight. Any question for our guest relating to his comment on the relationship with Russia, Liberia relationship?
Well, it is very clear, it's crystal clear, like he said, like I intimated for before. The thing is, it's very clear. No, Paul and Chima, you guys are my friend. And the three of us, one of you and I always have problems. So if the two of you want to get friendly with me, you have to be careful as to how you do it. And so it's clear. But I think no need to waste time. We just need to go directly into our discussions. And so Mr. Eno, let me say welcome. In the House of Representatives, there are problems. And you live right there in Liberia. You see it every day on a daily basis. What have you observed? What do you think is happening?
Yeah, so politics will always have a way, and I always tell people, every politics affects every aspect of our lives. So you don't get into politics and think that it's a holy game and you're going to play by certain rules. The issue of the house, there are different trends that you follow, and I tell people, instead of just trying to run with sentiments, sometimes you sit back, even if you fall aside, sit back and look at all the odds and put the pieces together, and you can still choose your side, but know and be objective why you're choosing that side and why you're supporting the side. Every government, you have an executive will want to have a house that they can control to some extent, or that there will be more favor from the executive standpoint, because the house is the first body, the first constitutional body that the government set up, and the power of the house collectively can decide how well or how bad the government will run. So if the executive has the house on her side, it makes her work easy. And everywhere you see opposition, ruling parties will always be fighting to have control of both houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives. And only you follow with CDC. Now let's go back to Madam Sharif. Initially, when Madam Sharif took over, the house was not on her side, but she managed to get them to fall in line. She did that for the 12 years that she ruled. She was able to move snow to get Tyler, who was from her party, to drive it. At some point, when she and Tyler fell off and he wanted to add Vic, she also used her very colleagues to also make sure that she put Nukwe in that was also on her side. You follow with this saga with George Weah. When Weah became president, he also ensured that he got Buffer Chima from his party to run on white ballot. And Prince Moyi from the opposition, and they managed to do that. Abachi also from his party to run the Senate. So we have control of both houses, while he also moved the executive and managed to have some good influence with the judiciary. So every executive will want that kind of government to give them smooth sailing. So with this regime, initially you saw that the UB even filed a writ on Speaker Skofa and election before it took place. For some reason, they withdrew the writ and the election went on, he became speaker. So that should tell you that, look, this seat I managed to get, I'm staying on a thin line. And these guys that fought me, before, they can still fight me if they rally around and get the right team. So he should have managed his relationship with the colleagues to ensure that everybody remains in the park to drive through so that he maintains his speakership for the 6 years. But Down the line, I think he didn't manage that relationship well. If you see there are different Facebook posts of people that even supported him, at some point he and Tai Wongwe had some issues. Tai Wongwe posted, he also counter posted, and they all the guys had different issues. And the bloc that didn't support him in the first place, they were also there, looking for how they can also build relationship with the other colleagues to see how they can move it. And it's politics, and there's nothing there about righteousness, and you all got to do it. And before he became speaker, he also lobbied, and with his colleagues. Lobbying is a legalized form of bribery. So he gave people money, he gave people permissible positions, and there were different stuff, and he managed to get there. So at this stage, some colleagues didn't feel that the reason for which they supported him when he became speaker, they were not getting the benefits. And he is speaker for those that elected in the 73 representatives, including himself. Though you represent the whole country as speaker, but your leadership, your first allegiance to the people that elected you in the house, not to the entire country. That's your first allegiance, because they decide whether you stay there or not. The entire country will be, you only represent it for your district in Grand Crew. You said I put a vote for you to become representative. And you got in the house, your colleagues decide to make you first amongst equals. So you are all equal. But they just say, look, you're going to be the first because we cannot have a headless body. So when you have that opportunity, it's a privilege. You have to manage it. But when people start taking leadership and certain positions as birthrights, there where the issue comes in, and you think that you law and gospel, and you sit at this point and nothing can happen, there where issues are coming. So you always know that whenever you are given leadership position, that's a privilege to serve, and you owe those who elected you to that position. That's your first point. And
okay, let me respectfully interrupt you a little bit. You seem to be, making it to way to the side of the people who are protesting against him for the fact that he owes them that loyalty for them making him first among equals. But which is right, okay? If we look at it conventionally, it is right. But wherein the same people who voted him knew, or they know fully well, that to remove him, they must go through a process. So let's look at the legal ramifications. So and simply because they voted him to be their leader, you think they will bypass their own rules that call for 49 signatures to be able to remove him and just go and whether they amass that number of people or not, but the fact that they voted in, they think they have the right to also remove him like that, you think it's right? Or should they go by the law?
Yeah, I was coming to that. I don't know the later basis, but once you elect somebody, if you read our constitution, Article 1 tells you that all power inherent in the people, all free government instituted by the authority and for their benefit, and we have the right to remove the government whenever our safety and happiness so require. Mm-hmm. And that can be done either through election or through protests to force the president to resign. Those are means that we have at our disposal to change the government. You can wait for the next election year and you go and vote the person out, or you can have mass citizen action to compel the resignation of the president, or you have the House impeaching or her. If you follow politics around, those are ways people got presidents to resign and to leave offices. So when your colleagues that elected you speaker start to have issues with you, the first thing the guys did in line with Article 49, they gathered signatures, they wrote resolution, and they went on October 17 to make sure that that resolution was read in the House. But what happened? There were representatives that acted like complete hooligans and prevented that petition, that resolution from being heard. They prevented the holding of session that day. And they were very clear that the speaker told them that they shouldn't have session. They insulted their friends, their colleagues' mothers. They threatened them with death. Anybody open the door, somebody will die here. They called them criminals. They chased them on the street and called them, they came up with all sort of allegations about they taking 25,000 bribes and all of those stuff. So when you prevented your colleagues from going to session, and that's also a violation of Article 44 of the Constitution, that nobody is supposed to obstruct legislative function. Nobody should stop legislators from going to session or coming from session. Nobody, they are immune from arrest. But their colleagues obstructed that.
I want to bring in my colleagues one by one, but I like when you lay the premise based on the law. You are quoting Article 44, 49. I sat and listened to you. 44 said nobody should obstruct. So the guys broke that part of the law at that time on October 17. So if the laws should be abided by, and if the law, quoting or Representative Musa Ability, if the law is the law and we should follow it, so then why the guys want to remove the speaker when they cannot garner the 49 names as required by their own law? Even though Article 1 of our Liberian Constitution say the power lies within our hands, we the citizens. So can 2 or 3 people who are also citizens just go to SKD stadium and say one president want to move and he should move? Because there are constitutional requirements, and their own law says 49 names. So whether they get 48.5, they should reach 49 because we want to follow the law. So don't you think, we are out for a long haul if we follow the law?
So, okay, I'm not right now. They have not told him that he's not speaker. He still remains speaker. So they didn't say because we have not reached the 49, you no longer speak up for us. No. They are giving him the chance to have due process. And I was coming to the point why the guys decided to have separate sessions and refuse to go into the main chamber and go into the joint chamber. Because on October 17, they were prevented. Up to today's date, Speaker Kofa has not condemned that act. You saw just on Tuesday, the same guys went and pepper sprayed his colleagues in session. The same guys over the weekend, last weekend, went to say they're having renovation of the joint chamber when they know very well that their colleagues were using that chamber for session. It was just, I think, yesterday or the day before yesterday, where they wrote memo highlighting renovation work ongoing. That should have been done. In every decent society, common decency will ask to give notice. But when they broke down all the chairs and all the stuff. So if you have people like that, carry on those kind of acts. So for me, I told the guys are right for holding separate session and not messing with them. Because if the speaker could not condemn them in the first place for obstructing the October 17 session, then it means that they are not up for any good. And once they are in session, the power of the speaker, he can influence what goes on the agenda for discussion and what doesn't go on the agenda for discussion. So the guys are not stupid for having separate session because they know that if they sit on his gavel, he has the power to shut them down and to just continue or put that investigation into some kind of committee room and remain there for a longer period while they continue. So to prevent the speaker and making handicap, the first thing they have to do is to prevent him from having session himself. And that's why for almost going to a month, 2 months now, he cannot have quorum to conduct session.
Well, that's also a breach of Article 49. But Paul, you want to come in?
Wow, this is very interesting, Phoebe. It's good to have you on this. We know that you ran to be representative on 2 occasions, so you have an idea of the House. The way things are going with 2 separate groups, if anyone, for example, if the budget were to send to the House with these 2 groups, who would the budget be sent to? If you just talk to our audience, find out the way things are going now, because we've seen that the House is divided. So who do the president deal with directly with these 2 separate groups?
If the president make mistake to send the budget to the speaker and his team, there will be no budget for 2025 because the speaker does not have quorum to do business. That's the first point. So Article 33 also gave the majority bloc the power to conduct session because they have simple majority and they can do business. And with the presiding officer being the deputy speaker, that gives them weight to be able to conduct business. And the Senate, they will do business with the Senate, they will do business with the executive. But if you decide to work with the speaker, saying that, oh, let's follow the channel because he has not been removed, so saying he's still the speaker, let's use the speaker. Your budget or whatever communication you send gonna be laying down, accumulating dust, because there will be no session conducted because he does not have the mandate to do business with anybody until he reaches the quorum of 37 and above. So that's what makes it risky to even try to venture doing business. So the guys have succeeded in crippling the speaker. And I've said this countless times, when there are some point that you have to know when to leave the stage as a good dancer. This is a privileged position, and you cannot do business. And nobody wants to do business with somebody that cannot take decision. You come to your home, for example, the father there, the mother there, the children there, and only the father in the house got the voice to say, take this and take that. Who goes to the child and say, my son, please give me 1 cup of red, or please give me or something to take? Looking for the father. Where is your father? Because they know that when they ask the father has the mandate to say this will happen or this will not happen. But at this stage, the speaker cannot make decision. So it's like an empty frame. So the executive will definitely not, if you follow precedent from Madam Sharif regime, when they had an issue with Snow and the other group, she still went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court ruling in favor, though the court does not have jurisdiction over the House. And they credit to her in a ruling. Madam Sharif told him? Madam Sharif said, I'm going to where the majority are. And I should move to the majority block. Because there where decisions will be made. And not with the minority. That doesn't reach quorum. So it's obvious that the president, you saw that there are ministers that are going for public hearing, questioning someone by the majority bloc. And they've been dealing with them. That should just tell you where the president is leaning. And obviously, the budget, the other stuff, we have to go through the majority bloc.
Wow. So let's pick it back to your comment about Article 1 of the Constitution that said the powers is inherent in the people. Now, the way things are not going right in the House, don't you think that the people have the right now to march on the Capitol to restore order? Because if these 2 people are divided, and we know our kids not in school, hospital, and all of not having medicine, and these guys are messing about the country, and equally so, we heard that there were cash involved in this. A majority bloc were receiving is alleged 15,000 to remove the speaker. If that's the case, isn't that violation of the Constitution as well? And then because it's bribery, it's a crime. How do you put all 2 together? He earlier said that the speaker did pay somebody to bring him into office too. So is it pay by pay, or where are we heading?
Yeah, like I told you, lobbying is legalized bribery. And it's done everywhere in the world, even in Great America. They are legalized. The people do lobbying with their representatives and senators. It's accepted. And, it's legalized. It's the legalized form of bribery. So if representatives are given 15,000 or 25,000 to remove the speaker through a lobbyist, nobody can take them to court for that, because legally it's allowed everywhere. So they even use that as to make noise. I want to tell them and say, look, LSCC cannot do anything to the legislators for that. Because even the speaker, he lobbied with his colleagues, he paid them money. It's accepted. And he was elected as speaker. He was not elected based on merit, but based on how you lobby with your colleagues. So if these other guys are being lobbied to move in, you can't do anything to them. So the issue of people marching to the Capitol, they try to use that. And at this stage, for me, it was ill-advised to want to use the public to remove, go to a march to the Capitol and say, look, compare these representatives to go into one chamber to decide. Because everybody got their own followers. And it will just become chaotic. Because if you have group coming with pro-speaker, you also have pro-anti-speaker. So the very people that you got people supporting the speaker, you got people that are not supporting the speaker that want it to be removed. So you don't get the public involved in this kind of stuff, because the public didn't elect you speaker in the first place. You were elected by your colleagues. The 73 people, including yourself, sat in there and decided on making you speaker, and you got the majority vote. So the first thing first is, how do you manage your relationship with your colleagues that elected you? And that way he failed. I just told you about the October 17 saga. When the speaker arrived in Liberia, the very first thing you should have done, how do you go to your colleagues that want to remove you? Bend down, hold their feet. Say you want to be speaker, say you so love the speaker title. Humble yourself. Kiss their feet and tell them, look, gentlemen, ladies, I beg you, whatever the issue is, let's try to find a way around it. Let's work together. But the speaker never condemned the guys that insulted their friends, threatened them to kill them, called them criminals. The speaker also got on air and confirmed that his colleagues were using the account to siphon money in his budget line. The speaker, he want to audit, and the guys don't want to audit. So the fact that you even try to brand these guys as criminals to the public and people that don't mean well for the country, they don't want to work with you. So that way he screwed up. Instead of trying to hold the guy and try to buy public sentiment, the public cannot help you in the case.
Right.
Oh. Thank you. Paul, can I come in quickly?
The public cannot help you in the case. Welcome, Francis Jamal. Yes, come in, Jamal.
Yeah, before coming there, Francis will come in. Thank you, Mr. Henrys, Phoebe Henrys. A very beautiful outline. I just want to, before I ask you a question, I just want to put a newspaper headline that is also talking about the speaker is going to the House. I want you to explain to me why, if the look at this, before it goes to the what's that? Do you read that, Claire, Mr. Henrys?
Supreme Court again.
Yeah.
I know.
The question is now, if you think the Supreme Court does not have authority over the House right now, the House of Legislature, why is he he went the first time, why is he going again? And he's been a well-renowned lawyer. Why is he going to the Supreme Court?
So say when the man is swimming and drowning, he tries to hold on to any straw he sees in the water. Even if it will not help him to survive, he will still grab on it. I think that way it is right now. Going to the Supreme Court is a waste of time, because the Supreme Court is only the legislature that got the oversight responsibility over the other two branches. But the other two branches, they don't have oversight responsibility over the legislature. Only legislators decide legislative matters. They set their own rules. They set their own pay. They set their own budget. They approve the budget of the president. They approve the budget of the judiciary, but they decide their own budget. They can override the president's decision. That's how powerful the House is. They are immune from arrest, go to and fro session. The only time you can arrest them is if it's felonious act or treasonous act. Other than that, they are immune. Whatever statement or whatever thing they do in session is privileged. Nobody can question them or punish them for that. That's how powerful the House is. So if you don't understand that power, and you're sitting there as a lawmaker, as a speaker, you don't understand the power of the legislature, then you got no business being there in the first place. Because he went to them, he went and prayed for prohibition. What is Supreme Court doing? They declined to issue the rate of prohibition because they know that they don't have jurisdiction to stop the legislators from functioning. It's a violation of Article 3, it's a violation of Article, I think, 44. Because nobody can obstruct legislative function, not even the court. So,
Right.
when you know the law, it's for the courthouse. That law does not apply to the legislators. He's supposed to know that. And he even made mention of that in January when Unity Party filed a real prohibition against the election. Instead, the Supreme Court knows better not to get involved in political matters. So now is the time. The Supreme Court does not know better. So it turn around. It's not the Supreme Court. It's the same Supreme Court. It's the same constitution. Nothing has changed. So he needs to understand this. If he's a good guy, if he means well for himself, at this time, like I said, you cannot do business, resign. Continue to serve your people of your district grand crew. You still a legislator. But if you say you want to force these guys to bend your way, it will not work. Because nobody got mandate over them. Only legislators can expel legislators. But legislators can impeach the president, they can impeach the vice president, they can impeach the chief justice and associate justices. But that cannot be done from any other branches to them. Only they can remove, suspend, or expel legislators. So he knows that. When you read your own law, at this time, it's not about running to the Supreme Court, it's just a waste of time.
Right. Okay, I will let my colleague Francis, who's just coming in, to ask his question, then we'll move on because I got a couple of questions for you, Mr. Henry.
Jamal, want Francis to come in?
Yes, please.
Good evening, Mr. Henry. It's a pleasure interacting with you today. My concern is that, and the concerns have been permeating the live feed right now, is that people think that your stance is harboring on the fact that want to be a fiercest rival from your community is supporting the speaker. So how can you reconcile that? That your stance is basically what's his name, Representative Foko, his group, who are supporting the speaker. Sometimes they brought that up to me before. I told them, I said that it is based on ignorance because they run up election. We supported George Weah. I openly made a statement to support George Weah. So if it was about Foko, I will not support George Weah. So it's not got nothing to do with Foko. Foko got a right to decide who to support, Speaker Kufuor or whatever. But I just laid some basic stuff down before you came on. You cannot just look at the issue, we look at the problem from the surface. It's always advised to look at the problem from the cause. What caused this to happen? So everybody ignoring the issue about the violation of Article 44 caused by the same Foko, what they got in Melvin Cole, Papi Flomo, and other guys. A complete act of hooliganism that was carried out on October 17. Nobody mentioned that. All they're talking about, they'll go to the section and go move the speaker if you get a number. No. The guys cannot mix with the wrong people that their only mindset is about violence. And if you understand the power of the speaker in the house, when he sits and has that gavel in your hand, there are a lot of things he can get done. And when you're messing with people that he can shut you off and push you down and do all that kind of stuff. So when the guys were prevented from going to session October 17, nobody wants to talk about that. For me, I've always told people I don't take side because everybody running there. I sit down, I weigh both options, and I give my opinion. And that was the first violation that nobody wants to talk about. Everybody concerned now, oh, y'all get it for the now, y'all go to the session, y'all leave the joint chamber. No. They cannot go and mix with violent people. Even within their separate session, they are violent and still being orchestrated against them. But all those that support the speaker, they are not condemning those acts. I posted on there against it. Someone else tell me, say, yeah, that's the best way to deal with rebels. Calling the guy rebels and saying that the best way to deal with them, best spray them, break the chairs in the session so that they can't have place to sit. They're okay with the violence against the guys, but they don't want to, but they vex why the guys decide to avoid violence. You think Thomas Farah does not have the resources to farm talks to flock Melvin Cole, flock Foco, flock Papi Flomo? He's not capable of doing that. You think Richard Kuhn is not capable of doing that? They're all capable. Not one person born president child. But they chose not to carry out violence, or they chose peace because they know that they have the power and know how to deal with it. Only legislators can deal with legislators. And they are following that path.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, it was clear and crystal. I mean, you know, at least you debunk the concerns of these people who, try to corner you in a particular phase that you're advocating for the majority group because of focus. Isn't it Foco or isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Foco. Okay, well, thank you so much. All right, I pass the word to the moderator.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Riches. So far, I think you are adequately addressing the issue, even though there are diverse opinions on this issue. Some people still want to follow the law. And see, my thing here is the law. These people are lawmakers. We're not talking about one Joe Blow or two Joe Blow from Waterside, drunk and throwing blows. No. These are lawmakers. The law that these guys make is a law. If you are one, will be in the house. In fact, before I even complete my statement, let me ask you, if you are in the house now, will you be against Councillor Fonati? Go far.
I don't support individual. I support Liberia. I stand for Liberia. All my stands that I've taken for Liberia. Mm-hmm. Even if I'm not taking side with the majority, but now I will take side with them.
In this particular case.
No, even if I'm not taking side with them initially, I will have taken side with them, but now I will be one of the first person to call in to tell you, say, look, Mr. Speaker, you have to resign because this is not on your side. And we cannot hold the country hostage because of you. One person cannot hold the country hostage.
Okay, let's go to the legal part. See, for me, if, like I said, if there are two people from where Bongonima doing this thing here, I will not apply law. But the laws that these people make should be binding on them. Now, you cited Article 1 of our Constitution, which is correct. You and me and every one of us, we got the power. Okay. But with these people, their own law, that part that says that you should have 49, because they limited themselves. They made a law in a way that cornered themselves. It says you should have 49. If they are just left it and say, if you have majority, you can move the speaker without any normal task, but it said 49. And if we dealing with lawmakers, we should go by the law. Okay. So our constitution is open. It says we the citizens can gather anyway. So I can amass 10 men who go to the stadium and say, let the president step down. Even though he may not step down, but I have the right to do that. But where you put number, you attach number to it, you say 49. So then you corner yourself. So you must meet that 49, or else you cannot make it. And so that's why if you hear me keep pressing on a legal aspect, that's the reason why. But I know you are well versed in the law, and you know, I think a little bit better than me when it comes to that. But let me take you to let me ask you. Maybe it's not the right time to ask you the question. How do you think this whole impasse will end?
The speaker will be removed. Either he resign or they will force him to remove. They will force him to remove him with disgrace.
How do they force him?
Right now, he has been relieved of his post pending the investigation. So he has the option to submit himself to the due process. If he refuses, he gives the guys ground to render a position vacant. So he has to submit himself to the due process, and he'll give 1 week for that. And I'm sure he will not submit himself to that.
Okay.
So that way they will put on.
The whole thing had to do a group, not even normal group, because he got 30 some more people and the people got 40 some more people. And then if you render him, if you nullify him, if you make him useless, so to speak, and his group stay behind him, and his group will say the majority of group now that have made this man persona non grata will not have session as well. They'll be obstructing. So how does it end? That because that's the point I want to see. Because people are saying you are saying that they can remove forcefully. How?
The other group, they will have no option but to bow down and go to session with the other group, with the majority. Because if they attempt to carry off violence, because right now all those that carry off violence from October 17, and the most recent one, I think November 12th, they have also been subject to investigation for 1 week feedback. I saw Papi Flomo wrote saying that he will not go to them. They have to send a letter to the speaker office or go to the main chamber before he can go to the investigation. So he already acknowledged their communication. So they have already sent them letters inviting them to go through investigation. So they have the option to go to investigation and vindicate themselves, or refuse, and the guys will take action. The people that are behind the speaker, they don't have the number to have to make decisions. So they're where they are crippled. They cannot make decisions. And I always tell people, I say, look, when you see people in the fence and they're trying to make decisions, and you are sitting on the fence, you should get down from on the fence and go in that fence and influence that decision. But if you sit on the fence and they stay in the fence and make a decision, they will decide to break the fence down, and you will not be in the know. And you'll be sitting on the fence and they'll break the fence down with you. So they can't make decision. You go into 2 months. Every time they go, they set roll call. After roll call, no quorum, adjourn, motion to adjourn. They pack their bags, they take pictures, they pack their bags and go home. And I don't think they want to continue like that for the next 5 years. Because once they have already written the president, they have written the Senate, they have written the judiciary and other government functionaries and international community, telling them that the speaker no longer holds legitimacy to do business with them. That message has gone through. And all the other bodies, they're going to listen to the majority black, because the majority black has the power to make decisions. And they're going to work with the Senate to make decisions. And sadly, for the minority black, majority in the Senate are also pro-majority black. So the Senate will definitely have to make decisions with that group. And once the Senate concurs with them, it's a done deal. So the speaker can hang on with his speaker title for all he cares. The guys can put him on permanent suspension with his speaker title, and the deputy speaker can run the show. So there are so many political ways to maneuver to make him, to render him irrelevant. Because right now he cannot make decisions, he's already irrelevant. And if he refuses to submit himself to investigation, they can just put him on suspension.
he be on suspension while they're doing their business. And once that is done, they will give order to the Liberia National Police to withdraw the security details that is afforded him to, as speaker. They will give order to the sergeant at arms and the chief clerk to have him to vacate his office, and he got no option because he does not have his own army. It is the state that giving him protection. And the majority decide that privilege that you enjoy, you're no longer going to enjoy it. They will withdraw it from you because the majority have the power to make that decision. So that's why they got it. They understand all of this, but they just trying to play hardball. And when you play hard, you die hard.
Mr. Henry, I don't know the law specifically when you say that the majority black has the power to recall the security details and order the eviction of the speaker from his office. I mean, he was elected. He has not been dethroned from the speakership as yet. So I think he say he enjoys that privilege. So I don't think I don't know. I mean, I'm just speaking out of ignorance. Probably you can educate me or educate us more or as to how that majority black can actually do what you just said.
Yes, so Article 33 gives them the right to give the majority the right to hold session. They didn't say, they said simple majority can conduct session. So, and they are using that simple majority to conduct session, and that's how they use to get the deputy speaker to preside with them and join them. Because he knowing full well that the majority has the power to make decisions. So you cannot be with a group that cannot make decisions.
This is just unclear because the people they follow their law to press against the speaker. They use all the Article 33, 44, and all this one. But that part of their own law that says that you should amass 49 before they make and be removed. What? I don't understand. Why they want to downplay some part of the constitution or their own law?
I'm coming to that.
Yeah.
There are several ways to go around it. They don't even have to remove the speaker. He can maintain his speaker title as an empty frame that cannot make decision and put on some suspension for a long while. Since they don't have the number to remove him, the 2/3 majority, but they can suspend him. They can use that option. Majority can suspend you.
And that would be a breach of article. I mean, they are not.
The majority can suspend you. Majority vote. They don't have to expel him. They don't have to remove him as speaker, but they can suspend him, and he will not enjoy the privilege of a speaker. So they have the power to do that. So he can be that empress speaker, holding the title while they running the show. And that's why they have written him to submit himself for due process. If he refuses, that can be an option. You say speaker, but you are suspended up to so time. So once he's suspended, you cannot be on suspension and enjoy the privileges. So they can suspend him and withdraw the security detail. Like they tell you from office, you are suspended for 3 months without pay. You stay in the employ, but you cannot enjoy the benefit of your office. That's why you will not be taking pay. You will not go to work. You will not ride a company car. Other benefit that you're supposed to get, you will not get them while you're serving your suspension. So they can use the suspension clause to suspend him and withdraw those privileges from him. And he can still hold a speaker title because they don't have the legal to remove him, but they can suspend him.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys.
Before Jamal come in, there follow.
Okay. Just John, if you just Johnny, I want to just retrospect. We have our brother here, Mr. Henry, who is saying, who is trying to outline the reasons why. Yeah, we're discussing the issue of the house, what they fire in the House of Legislature right now, and he's saying because of, if I'm trying to recap what he said, because of the poor management, relation management with his colleagues, now he's going to be unseated, and he has a right because got majority block right now on seating. Now the question comes to Mr. Henry is, I want you to go back because some of our followers not getting clear where you stand. Now you said simple majority. Simple majority will allow him to move to pushing out. Where do we reach the deadline? We have reached the deadline. Where does this end? Who comes to say, look, this is enough, get out, we want to move on. This is it's affecting the functions of the government, it's affecting everything in the country. When does this start? When does this begin to say, look, you see, we have simple majority. Who is in charge right now? Who the group, the majority bloc will go to say, look, we want to impose this power for the speaker to leave according to the constitution. Where does this end?
Yeah, so the first thing, the speaker has the power to end it by resigning. He has that option at his disposal, which a lot of his colleagues that support him have told him not to do. And some of his supporters from outside also told him not to do. So he can end it by resigning, and the House can go to election for a new speaker and move on. That's one option. So since he has conducted an interview before and said he's not resignation is not an option and he's on this until political death, the next thing, the majority bloc now can drive this to a political death. They have written him calling for due process. That's the first stage that they have started. The next step will be to put him on suspension while they try to get the 49. So while he's on suspension, it's not going to stop the legislator or it's going to stop or the country from moving forward, because the majority can make decision along with the Senate. And once you have that, they don't need the other people that are still playing Adama. They don't need the speaker. The deputy speaker now is the acting speaker of the House from the majority black standpoint. And they have started conducting business with the executive branch. So that should tell you that the country is not going to be at a standstill because of Speaker Kufuor. It will not happen. The country will keep moving. So he can choose to resign and move on, or he can choose to still be holding on and face the disgrace from his colleagues.
Thank you.
Okay. Paul, you want to come in?
Yeah, it's very interesting. 33 against what? 44 or 44, right?
43 against 30.
Cannot, or 43 against 30. If the 30 cannot work with 43 and they all on salary, and they were sent there to do the people's work, and they're on salary, they ride big cars. So with that 30, that starting with the speaker, not in session with the other guys that have the quorum, will the government pay them?
Until their colleagues take action against them, the government will still pay them. So their colleagues can take action by firstly telling them to come to session. And if they refuse to go to session, their colleagues can suspend them because they have power to suspend them. They meet quorum to make decisions. So they'll have the choice to either go to work, and if they say that they were all elected with Kufuor, and if Kufuor ain't working, it will not work, then they will show their citizens whether they elected them with Kufuor on the same ticket or they elected them independently. And there, their colleagues can suspend them. And when they suspend them, they will not take pay. They can suspend them without pay. They have the power to do that. But the executive cannot stop paying them until the legislators take action.
Okay.
So
this thing is very sticky.
So with this, with the way things are, and there haven't been any due process, and these guys decide, well, we can suspend it. Now Supreme Court can come and say, well, he have the right to go through due process. If you don't give him that room, how do you suspend him? That is having everyone confused. This is a turning point that everyone is confused. What is going on?
They've already started the due process. They set up, I think, a 5 or 6 man committee headed by the chair on judiciary, Michael Thomas. The thing they got another,
right?
4 or 5 other persons on that committee, and they are rating the speaker. They are rating the other lawmakers that came out the act of hooliganism on the 17th and the 12th of the 17th of October and the 12th of November. They are rating them for an audience for investigation. That's the due process. So the due process has been, the process has started. So it's up to them to submit themselves to due process or refuse to submit themselves to due process. So if they refuse to submit themselves to due process, the colleagues now have no option but to make decision, because we call you to come and submit yourself and clear your name, and you chose not to. So because you chose not to, this is our decision. Like the court summon you and you refuse to go, the judge can pass judgment.
Okay. Earlier on, I heard you mention that you didn't support the idea of involving the citizens in this case. For instance, the action taken by Vandella Patrick and some group of citizens who marched to the Capitol. But I just want you to clarify this point. If these lawmakers, like you were running for district number, what was that?
9, Monserrato.
Okay, yeah. If you are one, it would have been your people in your district that voted you into office and sent you there, or that employed you to do that work. And so if you are having problem, they have the right, I think, they should have the right to come and tell you, look, we sent you to do a piece of job, but the way you're doing the job is not right. So I don't know, how would you frown or not be satisfied with people involving the citizens who, in fact, these lawmakers directly or indirectly work for? How do you compromise that?
Yeah, so you elected, like for example, the people of District 8 elected Prince Tooh, Monserrato District 8 elected Prince Tooh as representative.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't elect Prince Tooh to go and vote for Speaker Kufa. The people of District 4, Monserrato County elected Michael Thomas. They didn't elect Michael Thomas to go vote for Speaker Kufa or to support Speaker Kufa as Speaker. That's not the reason why they elected him. So they got no face to tell you, say you must support Speaker Kufa as Speaker. They don't have that say. That was not the purpose of the election. Their colleagues decided that, look, we'll make you first among equals. So the reason they can go and protest to give their representatives should be issues that affect their life directly. Not about who becomes Speaker or leadership in the House. No, that's not the reason they were elected.
Yeah, but in this case, a lot of citizens are being affected. The budget, the people are there to do piece of job. For the past almost going to 2 months, they have not had session. They have not discussed any bill. They have not discussed anything. So the people's lives are being affected somehow, even though they're not getting sick from that. Some people are not dying from that directly, but something is happening, delays, and these people are taking pay. So their employers can come and say, no, listen, we want people to solve this thing. Not that you should go support this person or support this person, but see reason to come together. Do not be divided. See reason to come together, sit down under one roof and discuss this thing. I think the citizens should have the right to do that.
No, I think also the media sending wrong information to the public. And I think that's where the problem is. To say that nothing is happening on Capitol building is wrong. Mm. It is a speaker and a group of 30 that are not having session. But the majority black, they are having session. They are doing business. They are having public hearings. They had a hearing with the Water and Seawater. They have hearing with Internal Affairs. They are hearing with the guys from Transport Ministry.
They had hearing with the ECOWAS delegation. So they are conducting business. So we shouldn't say that nothing is happening on capital bidding. At capital bidding, something happening. It is only the speaker that is not doing business. So if there anybody is supposed to put pressure on, you should be putting pressure on the speaker to resign, because he is trying to hold the country hostage. But the other guys are going ahead with their business. So it is the he managed to get most of the media guys on his side, and they're sending the wrong information. Yeah,
the question that the public have that concerning everyone, what have this speaker done so much that his colleague that voted for him decided to leave him, and now the horse is split because on this? On what ground? I mean, just make the thing simplify for our viewer to understand what really went wrong. That you have 30 person one side and 43 on the other side. What really went wrong? What have he done?
Article 49 tells you that you can elect the speaker and you can also remove the speaker for a cause. Article 49 did not define what cause is. So any reason that the majority comes up with can be a cause for removal, because there is no definition as to what is cause. So if the majority got the tutor and they say, look, they go to say, the way the speaker spoke to us yesterday, we didn't like it. We want to remove him. They can remove him, that cause. They found a cause, because there is no definition of that cause. So they decide a cause. So, but they have come up with 6 counts why the speaker should not be speaker for them. One, they talk about conflict of interest. For me, I don't want to do any, all the counts do not make sense, but that's their reasoning. And he's serving as legal counsel for some entities in government. He holds this other business, he holds the other stuff. For me, those are irrelevant things for me. I would not hold that as against him, because he hired a law firm before becoming speaker. So you don't tell him, you will not shut a law firm down because he's speaker. You will not close his businesses down because he's speaker. So for me, I will not hold that as an issue. But they also mentioned about the issue of the budget for 2021, 2022, and 2023. The excess spending of the budget. The budgeted 1.5 million in 2022. And the speaker, at the time, deputy speaker, the budget exceeded. It went up to 5.6 million. So they're asking, what's the issue? Where the excess came from? From 1.5 to 5.6. You go to 2023, 1.1 million was budgeted for the deputy speaker office. From 1.1, it ended up to 4 million. What's the extra 2.9 million went? So about excess about 7 million excess over the budget within those 2 years. For me, that's a genuine cause. That warrant explanation, because they cannot budget for you as a woman 2.6 million in 2 years, and you spend about 9.4 million. I mean, 9.6 million. That's unacceptable. When the road to Grand Cru, the schools in Grand Cru look like good houses. Hospital in Grand Cru were giving, I think, 275,000 for whole budget year in 2023. But one man office, excess of 2.9 million. That cause of genuine concern. And then they talk about the criminal case against him in the States, about 500,000 where he embezzled from his clients. For me, that's a genuine cause. There are other things that they listed, about 6 different counts. So they have reasons. And I don't use it with people in the public
voting for him. They knew all of this when they were voting for him.
You have the right, look, you can, like I said, the speaker lobby to become speaker. And there's nothing that said that if you made a bad decision, you can reverse it. There is no law that says you can reverse bad decision that you made. If for some reason you think that you have regained your senses and you can right the wrong, it is allowed. So if they think that they made wrong decision in January by electing a speaker, and they're ready to reverse that decision that they made, it's their prerogative to do that.
Okay,
Because
please comment on this allegation that one of the reasons that prompted this whole thing is because the speaker has promised to audit the house, and there are some people among the 43 that do not want this audit to go on. Comment on it. How do you think?
For me, I think that statement was used to buy public sentiment, because 90 or 80% of those that opting for a removal were just elected last year. So the audit got no issue on them. So they will not be they will not be there opting to remove the speaker because of audit. Because you audit the house today, that audit will not affect Michael Thomas. That audit will not affect Anthony Williams. That audit will not affect a lot of the guys that are calling for the removal of the speaker. So why should they be there saying remove because we don't want audit? Why? They just gave you a questionable stuff of the speaker budget of excess spending of $7 million in 2 years. So who should be afraid of audit? So it was just for public sentiment. The House sanctioned audit before. The Senate concluded theirs. The representatives who was stopped. The colleague said the speaker stop it. So it's a public sentiment. But in Liberia, it's like we had this justice of the peace on the Oro called Tamba. They say the first person to carry complaint, it means you have won a case. As soon as you carry the complaint, you won a case. So the first person to speak will definitely buy and they run it with it. But it doesn't mean that the other guys that are opposing audit. No. And besides, people don't understand. Certain people don't understand. The house can decide to do audit on herself, but they're not subject to audit. You know why? Because they are not supposed to receive public funds besides their salaries and benefit. So the Constitution is still in a way that audit is not something for the house, because only their salary and benefit that is supposed to receive. And that's why when they took that legislative engagement fund, 30,000 each, and they started to share around, I raised that issue. It was wrong. It was broad day stealing from Liberian people, because they are not supposed to take money and account for it. The only person that accounts for public fund for the Republic of Liberia is the president. You read Article 34 DII. That is a charge to the president that he will account for revenue receipt and revenue spent every year and submit to the legislature. They didn't say the legislature will go and submit to the president. So the house is not subject to audit. But because people don't know the law, so they're running around and they're blowing sentiments. Only the president, the executive, the other branch can be audited, but not the house, because only if you read the entire function of the house, I think from Article 28 or 29 all the way to 49. The only area where they tell you that the house will handle money is Article 36, and that's their salaries and benefit. No other money should go to the legislators. So who audit you for money that you receive for your pocket? And you receive your salary and benefit, who come to audit you for high usage?
Okay, maybe Paul or Francis would like to go, but it's a lot of things. Now, let me come to Fubi Henry.
Let me just come in. I mean, there's a probability that not those guys who were recently elected that are behind the removal of the speaker, they could be used as stooges by some hidden hand, and those who were in the legislature, in the house, prior to them, ascending to the position. So there is a probability that, they have been supported by those who do not want the house to be audited. So, what's the take on that?
I don't know. That's one of the blunder they keep making, trying to shift blames. And I always tell people the easiest thing to do in life is to shift blame. Oh, Mr. Guedre, you relax. Oh, I blame Mr. Churope. I blame Francis. You relax. For you, you don't see your fault. You just send it to somebody else and you think it's okay. That's the easiest thing to do in life. But if we start to hold ourselves accountable for the things that happen to us, then we'll solve many problems than shifting blame to people and saying that somebody responsible, they are hitting him, that were in the legislature, in the House of Representatives, now they moved to the Senate, and blah, blah, blah. I just told you, Article 38, the actions of legislators are privileged actions. They can be punished for that. So as long as so people need to understand, the only people that can take action against legislators are the legislators themselves. So you conduct audit today, the president cannot do anything to any legislator for audit report. LACC cannot do anything to any legislator for audit report. So there are a lot of things that like people need to understand clearly and how to navigate to deal with the people that we got to manage. Until we go and do some referendum to amend certain clauses within the constitution to reduce the power that the legislators have. Most of the things we blow are hot air. We just arguing for argument's sake. So no hitting here, but you start looking for who the hitting hand behind it. That's why I started from the beginning. I said the speaker won the speakership in January. That was contested. And he knows very well that the executive are interested in who becomes speaker. But at the time, the party even filed a rate to put stop to it, but later on they withdrew their rate because they knew that the Supreme Court had no business in that. So they had to now they got the opportunity to use the political means because the legal means could not stop it. And at that time, people just came from election. People were broke. People needed to recoup fast from some of their legislative expenses. So if you were lobbied to and say, look, man, lobbied with and say, look, take some, you're gonna 10 G here, go for me as speaker, you will definitely take it. And that's how most of those guys stuck and they went and said, look, man, I'll be chair on executive, I'll be chair on there, I'll be chair on that. So a lot of those guys bought the idea and accepted the lobby fee that was given by the speaker and he became speaker. So now, those that had interest, that contested against him, they still have interest. And they decide to fight back. So the very people that you use to make you speaker, some of them fell sidelined by you. You didn't manage that relationship. Are you manage that relationship properly? We'll not be having the discussion. Before you want to talk about, oh, that the president responsible, that Jeremiah Poon, the VP responsible, or that Thomas are responsible. No, you are responsible because you didn't manage your relationship with your colleagues. Blame yourself before you look for who else trying to undermine you. How did you hold that relationship together? That's why he failed.
Mr. Henry, let me just hold you right there. Don't you think there's gonna be a vicious cycle, be a spiral of undermining the leadership in the House if this happened to succeed in the way and fashion is being played? Probably the next speaker may undergo similar fate. Don't you think there's a propensity to create this kind of revolving door? This
is politics, huh? This is not the Holy Bible that says don't add, don't subtract. This is politics. And in politics, are competing interests. And you have to manage it when you have it. If you think that the Holy Bible that took you to the speakership, he lied. None of the Holy Bible talking there. None of the Quran talking there. They're not prayers. He used political means to rise to speakership.
So it happens everywhere. People will move speaker for different reasons. You also saw the removal of your man in the States. Those of you that are in the States, McCarthy. He rose and later on he wanted to shut us seven and then moving. Because just some little stuff, they say, look, man, you gotta go. We can't keep you there. So there are different reasons people found. And it's a normal stuff. So nobody should be surprised and say, oh, it's a vicious cycle. Yeah, it will be a vicious cycle or a spiral. It will continue. As long as you rise to a certain position, if you don't manage your position well, people will move you from there. Because just know that everywhere you sit, somebody entered you by sitting to that space. Even in your home, even in our social life, you got a girl, you got a girl that you chase, you go. You know how many men were chasing that girl? Well, you were lucky. If you mismanage her, people still marking, people still pressing her. Even your own wife, people can be marking your wife while you still married to her. And you can divorce her and go. Don't walk outside that. That's life. Which kind of people particle up a life. When we particle up a life, we don't spread ourselves all these things. Men moving, men dropping, and men moving and men dropping.
Mr. Harris, let me interrupt Lynn for quickly, please.
Okay, come on.
Yes, I just wanted to get to a different angle. You just make a lot of clarification with regard to the whole thing. A lot of people eyes are not open to information going on, very innocent of what is going on around. People are saying the law is a law for the 9%. That is for a non-members to be able to remove him. Then I come to my mind of the media, the role, the social media, which most people allude to right now in Liberia. I want to ask you, what do you think the media plays in shaping narrative around the event, and how might it influence public opinion? Because a lot of innocence, a lot of ignorance in this area. You made a lot of clarification here. What do you think our social media, media handles, other things you play in this kind of event?
No, the social media play a lot of role for the speaker. The speaker played a smart role when he made use of the media. I think for the first time, the speaker became media friendly, and he was conducting interviews and having summer cards with different stations, and have most of the journalists to buy in. But everybody can be on your side. That's just about life. And there are opinion leaders also.
Sorry, what I'm trying to say is like, you just may mention some reality, some facts that we don't know about. It could be facts or it could be some issues we don't know about. And that's why you are here to tell us. You are much more versed into those things. The question is, why are we not aware of these? We are saying from the top, because we're not looking from we're looking for the surface, like issues happening. We're looking at 49%. My colleague just asked you, told you that why they can have the majority to remove him, and they're holding 30 is holding up to 43 is against 30 right now. So why is it that the media is not aware? Most of the media you listen to or institutions you listen to, they are talking about they're just angry that corruption is at the highest peak. They want to remove him because someone don't like him. The executives are after him, and all the political games you're talking about, nobody's aware. People are not talking about it. You're talking about he's been sidelined, and he's been hunting down corruption, and how this is why he's been hunted. This I'm just asking why they're not looking into that. They're not looking at that particular those things. The facts. They're looking at all the side of it, and why the media has been taking those into like issues like Kofa is right and should stay in because you need that majority before they can remove him. That's my point I'm trying to stress here.
Yeah, like I said, he managed to get most of the media practitioners on his side. There was not even disclosure at the house where some of the guys on supplementary payroll from the house. So definitely, nobody wants to bite the hand that feeds them. So you will definitely see them pushing his line because they know that every month some people getting 1,000, some people getting 700, some people getting 4 days, some people getting 500. So besides your different hustle, you know that this is a show that's coming to you every month. You will defend it to death. Okay. So they all play that role, but there are others that will not fall for that. And that's where some are coming. I always love to play the game of wiser than a father. And when everybody running left, I can stop and look and say, look, there's a row on the right also. I think the row on the right, you look at it. Before, why you running, like we say, call head chicken, look on the right, check brake. And that's why I said, look, I know everybody now raising issue about, yeah, the speaker is the legitimate speaker, they wrong to remove him. I say, look, gentlemen, check break. First thing first, you say the majority black wrong. I said no, because on October 17, they went to session with a resolution. They went prepared with their resolution, but they were stopped from attending session on the order of the speaker, according to Frank Foko. Papi Flomo insulted Thomas Falamoda. There's a video to that, threatening to kill him if he opens the door. Melvin Cole was there also, insulting Thomas Falamoda, calling him criminal and raw. So all these guys say, look, you cannot attend session today. They obstructed session. So had they given the guys the opportunity to go to session, the guys who have presented their resolution, and the discussion will be on the floor, the agenda will be on the agenda for discussion. But they stopped the guys using violence. They took talks in the Capitol building. So the guys said, look, we will not use violence for violence. Since you want to fight in your main chamber, there's another place we can use. Went to the joint chamber to use it. So they decided to have separate session. So before you argue about they're not following the law, they're refusing to go to the main chamber, you should first be answering what prompted them to use the joint chamber. It was the violation of Article 44 by members that support Speaker Kofa that prevented them, that prompted them to use the joint chamber for that separate session, because they didn't want violence. And knowing the weight that the speaker has when he holds the gavel, he controls what goes on the agenda, he can influence it, and he can even shut you from speaking. If he doesn't recognize you, you can speak. So he has the power to even make sure that resolution is dead on arrival. So to be able to make him, to handicap him, is to ensure, to prevent him from having quorum. And they were successful in doing that. And to me, that's what I believe in.
You sound like a very good strategist for the majority bloc from my point of view. But time is against us. We got very short time to go, and I think you have provided the clarity that most people did not have, and we very happy that you came here to do that. But before we go, I know my colleagues will take that one more round. But let me start with this. This is my own personal concern. You've been at it 2 times. Do you want to take a third shot? Are you still prepared?
No, I will contest. I know I got bigger political ambition and failure. No, tiredness is not part of it. I don't give you another option. The only time you will give up when you are dead. So we will go back, we will prepare better, and we understand the issues that affected. We were robbed 2 times in the election, but we prepared. We'll do all we can do. I was sure that I always tell people, I say, look, I'm not deterred by not being in the house at this time. There are different reasons why God can allow certain things to happen. And when you pray, there are different ways God will answer you. God will tell you sometimes wait. God will tell you, God will just sometimes just be silent. And sometimes God will act definitely. Sometimes God will say, no, it's not ready, it's not right. So I'm not deterred by that. But we have what it takes. The vision is clear for the country. And definitely I will contest, I will win. And Liberian people will see a very good style of leadership.
Okay. Finally, from my side, before my colleagues come in, because we'll soon be taking leave of you. But finally, from my side, how will you, if you are the classroom teacher for this government, how will you grade this government for the 10 months, 11 months going?
Okay, for me, I've not been, I'm not in Liberia, so I've not been following most of the stuff, but there are some things that I think the government failed on that she needs to step up. Like when people were up praising the role, 100 days, no car will be stuck in the mud. I told people, I said, look, you don't cheer for that kind of statement, because the first 100 days are dry season. So car definitely will not be stuck on the mud in dry season. So you don't buy that kind of statement. Wait for August, September, October, when no car stuck in the mud during that period, you can make that comment, you can cheer. So I think that was a ill-advised statement that was made. I think the government needs to do that. Well, what I've been following, the trying to work on reduction in the price of gas, the issue of exchange rate, trying to reduce. If all of those remain stable for a period of time up to December, that's a good start. That we should all share. And there are other potential investment that they have initiated and looking forward to take place starting next year. And it will give them the benefit of that to see whether they happen. And if those things happen, those are also good things that we should also look forward to. For me, my interest is Liberia. I don't tie myself to parties. I'm from a political party, but Liberia first. That's our party motto, and I always tell people that Liberia first. So we all want good leadership. We all want the betterment and improvement of a lot of people for the country. So it's not, you don't tie it to a party or a person. So if the government does well, good. The government also took a very good stand on the support for War Economic Crimes Code, a battle that I led in 2018 against the WIA administration, which they fought to oppose from happening. But I'm grateful that this government was able to take it on and endorse it in no time. That's something that I give the government a check mark for the fight on justice. That's something we should commend them. And the president also has taken some decisive decision to get some people, some officials to resign, for alleged, not someone not corruption, but like the commerce minister resigned, and it was not about corruption, but some just insensitive nature of pushing for bigger car and a higher rate that you could have done better than, and to push him to resign. That was something good. The dismissal of those guys that were fighting at LRME, the DEA, AB Kroma and Fadiga and other guys. That's a good decision. As I support this, the suspension of the guys from LRRC, and to go, that's also a good stuff. You didn't see that happening during the WIA administration when these guys were. When they came up with that, their mop-up exercise and stole that money from the rent people, the president stepped on that other report. And I think that was something that was very wrong. They didn't do any good fight in the fight against corruption. So I think President Bokar is heading well in that direction, and I think we also cheer for that. But the state of the economy, feedback I get is tough, and definitely you will have such, it's not going to be an easy ride from the beginning. And happening in every regime. So that, the way we say we'll rescue, and I think that they need to manage that piece and revive the economy as quick as possible. Because if that is done, I think where you can build all the roads, build all the infrastructure development you can put together. If people don't have food to eat, you have done nothing. If people cannot have food to send their children to school, you have done nothing. If people cannot have food to sleep, on electricity, you have done nothing. So those are stuff that they need to work on, getting the economy to jumpstart the economy as soon as possible so that Liberians can start having some better life and reduce the cost of living.
Gas?
Okay, thank you very much. And also, you mentioned about the Sonson special. We also heard recently that Steve Zago was suspended recently. I don't know what reason for, but he was being carried in the news. That's another applause for the government. Mr. Harris, thank you very much for coming in. And I appreciate your time. Now, we just want a quick question on. I want to just say, if you mind. I'm just looking at the current effect of the governance structure and the political stability in Liberia, because this keeps dragging on. What do you think going to be like? It keeps dragging on the things look chaotic, and what do you think is going to affect the political structure? It may provide for the political structure, and what the executive is doing right now to step into change direction so they can submit the budget and we can move on.
No, the executive will submit the budget. Those guys can't do anything. Sometimes people feel that they have certain power, they do make some noise, but they can't stop the executive from submitting the budget to the majority, because submitting the budget to the minority is a waste of time, because they don't have decision-making power. So probably that's why you see that maybe we'll see what the speaker going back to court for. Maybe next week we'll understand why he's going to court to know. Then we can better give our opinion on the reason he's going to court and condemn it or praise it if necessary. But I think this whole thing not going to stop the government from moving. And that's why I keep telling people the media have been playing more in line with the speaker than giving the real information. Like when they had that their protest that were carried out by Pantera Patrick and others, I listened to one lady saying, "Oh, let the guys move from RLJ and go to work." The guys sleep. The guys. They decided to spend a night to RLJ, but every Tuesday and Thursday they were at the ground of the capital. But the media made it appear like they just laying out the RLJ having fun time, and they were never at the capital building. And so it's the media campaign that have been playing in favor and trying to make it appear like nothing happening at Capitol building, but something things are happening. They were there. They wrote 2 communications to the deputy speaker. After the 2 communications, the deputy speaker went and joined them. They started having engagement. The president sent communication to the chief clerk. They had the majority black. Some government officials to go and appear before them. They have conducted hearing with them. So you can't say nothing happening. So business already going on. It is just the other guy trying to make noise because they got the louder voice right now. Like they say the chicken and the elephant. When chicken lay one egg, the whole town will hear it. When elephant baby, who hears the elephant baby? Nobody. But the elephant baby is bigger than the chicken egg. And even all the chicken family or generation. But the guys are working.
Well, for me, I really say now enjoy your talk here because this is crazy. I want to ask you one last question, and you just said it because I've been thinking. We on this platform been accused of taking money, and the people that they accuse of giving us money, we decided to call those very people to answer questions to us. What your take on this Mo Ali from Transport Ministry, from Water and Sewer and the other guy from Transport that appear in front of majority blog that have been accused of these very poor giving? What your thought on it? Because it does not make sense to me that somebody have been alleged that this group of people gave you money and it's very poor that they said give money and to answer question on the allegation that they gave you money. What's your thought on this?
Like I said, the house, if people understand the power of the legislature, certain noise will not make them. And that's why when they started with that whole thing, right. LACC on top of this thing, LACC will do this, LACC will do that. If you go on my Facebook page, I did a post on it. I said LACC got no jurisdiction over the house. They can't investigate that. Whatever 15 or 30, 25,000 lobbying fee they're giving to those guys. LACC cannot do anything about that. So all that thing, councilors, over my own friend, but I had airs were blowing because they got anything. So they just brought those guys to just make it to give the public their own opinion. If they have, they can investigate. They have to investigate those guys. So sometimes, like you call somebody, that's what you said. Sometimes you will call people and say, "Look, come." If people say you give me money, can't tell me whether that's true. It's fair. And I know definitely you will not nobody want to be caught in our web to say, "Yeah, that's true. I collected money to come bribe you," because Mo Ali did not carry money to legislators. Transport Ministry did not carry money to legislators. So for whatever reason they withdrew money, they didn't take that money and carry it directly. So if you were giving instruction to withdraw a certain amount of money to send to a certain place, they can go and try and investigate somewhere else. But you can't tie it to the house. The entity that you're there with to give that money to, the executive can sanction investigation, sanction audit. But you can't tie it to the legislators because those guys never directly gave the legislator function. So they might have passed it through different channels before it got to them. So you can't blame them directly.
But they got something called
Wow.
aiding and abetting.
No, I agree. What I'm saying, you can't blame them directly. And I also said there's something also called lobbying. Lobbying is legalized bribery. And you can't put nobody in jail for lobbying or for receiving lobbying fee. You can't punish legislators for receiving lobbying fee because it's legally accepted. But it's a legalized form of bribery.
A code of conduct.
The code of conduct can stop them on that. Lobbying fee everywhere. They got paid. They got well-known lobby. We like Europe. We're paying lobbyists in America to go and lobby in Washington with a beer, giving them millions of dollars. We know that. So what we want to make it on that? That's not illegal thing. It's legal, like accepted.
Okay.
The whole country.
Before
I'm telling you how one lady that you're working with, when she left, President we have got another black guy you're working with. You are giving him money. Our money are giving to go lobby in Washington for them. How they were using that? It's not money they're putting in their own pocket. No, they were giving them money to American legislators. It's accepted. So we have to understand anything and get the layman to understand some of these things. And you can't jail nobody for lobbying because it's a legalized form of bribery that's generally accepted everywhere in the world.
All right.
Right.
From
Before
my
we
end, I
be-
have no
I just want to
questions.
say-
I just want to say thank you for the time. You adequately provided, the information that people needed. From your side, probably we'll have next week. We'll have somebody from the minority bloc who have a different opinion, perspectives on it. So thank you. Any student gonna say you elucidated it very well.
Thank you. You're welcome.
For me, I just want to say thank you for the short notice, and you responded well, and you really nailed it. But I want to ask you simple question, not simple, but some information been circulating on the social media lately. Some guy that ran against you in 2017 in district now, Joe Poto.
Oh, Joe Poto.
This thing that been trading. I don't know if he came across.
Yeah.
With the issue. I don't know if what are your thoughts on it, because people just making it seem like it's something, because I know he was friendly. He is friendly with George. We are all the big names in Liberia. He friendly with them. So they now label the president. Why is the president with this guy? So I just want to give you your thought before you can leave us on this. He ran against Phoebe. For those of you who didn't know, Joe put in what district 9, yeah.
Yeah. I did a short post on that. It's funny that people want to. Joe Poto is an adult. Joe Poto been having that alleged black money or BM name tattooed behind him for a very long time. And there are a lot of allegations that he been cooperating with people from different countries and other stuff. And that's how he became tough. And I was just talking to one of my friends. I said, look, why you want to tie the president to him? Say Joe Poto was arrested for duping somebody in Tokyo or in Japan. It got nothing to do with him being in relationship with the president. Not the president saying to see. Even in friend with Jovia, not Jovia saying to see. Joe Poto's father was what? Former pro temp. Kagura Poto. That's not a bad thing to go see. That he decided to go and become a crook. So he didn't know when to leave the stage. Some point when they start something, every day is sweet and more. When you go, you pick all the food today, nobody catch you. The next day you go and put your whole hand and take more meat. So every day you'll be doing it. On the one day, they will come and catch you with your 2 hands in the pot. So it was just a time to be caught. Because if say you went there last year and duped the guy and you left, what took you back there? Probably you say I can get away with it again. So he went there, they caught him this time. So It got nothing to do with President Baka. They're not Baka saying to go see. They're not Baka making beer. All the people think they are doing the past. They're not Baka. Not here Baka or partnering. They're not Baka rearing. He he had different parents that grew up with. They're not Baka's son. It's a Baka's son that you can say, yeah, the president's son did this. So you can't tie him to the presidency and say, I allow the president in close relationship with the president, I close tie with the president. No. The man hustling. If you Baka game change, you will do Baka.
Bad boy. We want to say thank you to you.
Thanks for the show. Thanks for coming. This should be a last time, though.
No, anytime. Yeah, feel free to invite me anytime. I'll always
Okay, we want to say thank you very much, Mr. Fubi Henrys. Like you said, you already committed yourself. This should not be the last time. And so we're going to be knocking on your doors when any important thing pops up. We'll knock on your door so you can come and throw some clarity. And I think one of the reasons why you continue your ambition to become a lawmaker is that you follow the events in the country, the law, and all these things. And I think we need people like you in the House who will look at things from a broader perspective, not just, like you said, everybody running one side, so we all should go one side. No, today, I borrow man. I don't have no football team, but in my home where I live in Montreal, when I grew up, everybody are IE. And you know, one particular year, I was beating Barrow throughout. I think that 1970 something. I was beating Barrow throughout. So I saw one day. I just said,
79, IE was the hottest team.
Yeah. So I gotta say, I'll be a Barrow man. I have to remain Barrow man. So I always let to be on the other side of things, and when I know they are right. So thank you very much for coming, and we hope to see you here very, very soon. And let's keep the politics alive, and let's keep the struggle to make Liberia a reality that we all will come to one day. Thanks, and we want to say have a good night.
You too. Thanks. Bye-bye. I appreciate it.
Okay, guys. So Mr. Henry is gone. Let's just do 2 minutes each and throw light on what was discussed and how do you look at it. Starting with for Francis. I know Francis is on his knees, right on his tools right now. So Francis, you be the first, and then from there we'll go to Jima, then we'll go to Paul.
Francis, the job this Friday. Friday go spend some his money.
There was look, the world we live in nowadays is all about money. You gotta pay your bills. Yeah, the Western world, everything else.
What I'm saying now, you already got paid, so you're gonna go spend some money weekend. That's what I'm saying.
No, next weekend we get paid, then we do the jolly. Yeah, but on the flip side, the discussion was very enlightening. Some of the things that was said tonight, it was kind of new to me, I guess, to our listener as well. So it's always good to have the likes of Fubi around coming to, to give his perspectives on issues, that are unfolding in our country. So I hope that we can invite him, soon again when he has the time. So yeah.
Yeah, Jima, you brought the whole topic here. Tell us.
Yeah. It's one good thing, guys. I will tell you. I want to say a big thank you to Paul for making this for us to get him out here ASAP. One thing that we are missing, we do talk shows, we passion about Liberia, is like getting the people to give us the information. Mm-hmm. That misinformation has been going on. We create this guy on all the topics, he kind of effortlessly answer them. It may not be right to the ears of many people because the way the thing is trending in Liberia. We want to listen to it may not be facts. If you listen to some story, how outlined, if you look what happened from Eddie Johnson's government to George Weah, there were a lot of changes of leadership in terms of speaker position. And now those things keep following. And we've not been taking history or cue from those things that happened. It's just the same thing. But it was managed well and with no noise. It's the same thing going on right now. It's not new to Liberia. So this is what the brother was highlighting to us. He highlighted all these things. That is happening. It's a political game going on. If you don't know how to manage your game well, you are a loser. So what they are saying, we keep saying the Lord is the law, but what do you say if you listen to I think I read a story about Fala, what's T5. Tifa said he wants to go to where the law is. It's not, but it's a majority bloc. It's not a party. So he was forced to change, or else he would be considered, outcast in the house. So definitely you have to move. You have to change cap. You have to change hands. You have to move to other group to join the bloc. So definitely, what I'm trying to say here is a big thank you to the to Henry's Pubi for coming in, and I hope we can have him on addressing issues on the political issues in Liberia. If we have issues on hand, bottom line, we're having as a special guest on, to address all the issues. That's part of a level of information he has. He's very informed of what's going on in the political cycle, especially in the legislative cycle, which is well informed. If you also listen to most of our people that follow us on the audience, or people that follow us, they were like, most people did not buy into what he's saying because we almost take side in issues that we don't want to be in the middle and say what's going on. I think we can judge and see at the end of the day and see, well, let's sit. Wait a minute, what's going on here? And follow history. Probably we'll know which way to go. But I want big thank you to all of you guys for it was a good thing and be here to answer the question of this guy. Because I'm sorry for taking long, because this is very serious. It's holding our country hostage. And we are nowhere, and nobody's making statement. If you listen to a lot of talk shows, a lot of radio stations, nobody's making these kind of statements. It's not getting to the people. And how do we get people to know this thing going on? But anyway, a big thank you and hard up to the brother for coming. And anytime, I hope you can come on and help us and make some clarification here.
And Paul, you set the whole stage for Fubi's appearance. Do you think he adequately addressed the issues?
Well, I think Phoebe did himself well here because he brought something to our attention that it's a theater. And the fact is, if your colleagues elect you, it's privileged to serve them. Anything can make them remove you. And one of the things he mentioned here about the two different budgets, two different money that went to that, almost $7 million. Imagine us sitting down, my colleague carries $7 million, and I said, he said it. Even you may have your girlfriend who put it out there, but other people eyes on her. So the big mistake you made, they will capitalize on it. It's exactly what he's saying that is happening in the house. So no matter what we say, that theater is a political theater. They want this guy out by all means, and by going into the majority bloc, which the president will do business with, so he won't be out. So he simplified in a way that say he can go to Supreme Court. Supreme Court will just say this, but at the end of the day, his colleague will kick him out because they put him there. Anything can make them to remove him. So he clarified that. I think it made a lot of sense. So he said it's not about all the other allegations, but that seat, somebody else won that seat because the person who won that seat is in the majority bloc. So wherever he do, they have lobbied. And in lobbying, it's not a crime. So that's where the big money is. And that's why I pick to our audience, I think for me, and I let what Francis said, we need to get somebody from the minority bloc so we can get that own view too. So we can balance and see why they're pushing him. But we sitting on the offense, we just enjoying the theater. I have the massive television that I hear when I rather drink my Jack Daniel, just hear the noise what's going on. Some people going to call, some people say this guy will be removed. So we enjoying it, the drama. Yeah, so I think it was a good show. He clarified a lot of things, and I hope we get somebody else from the opposite side so we can get their view as well. And to our audience, I think they did well by sticking up with us today. River said Pro said something there. He didn't know that we have a new platform. So Linford, I think you should reach out to him as well.
Yeah, Real Estate Pro, he knows that I usually go and do my private podcast. Now he asking, but okay, we want to recognize a couple of people. Real Estate Pro to start with you, Ernest S. Sherman, Jefferson, Francis Koloko, and of course our brother Thomas, and our own sister, and also a panelist on the show, Madam Lucretia Nelson. Want to say thanks to all of you, and there are so many other people whose names I cannot see. I see you appear, but your name do not appear on my dashboard. So, but if you're also now, we'll let us say thank you very much for being with us. We're gonna be Ephraim Guel, my nephew. He's here. So we're gonna be here on Tuesday, a couple of days from now.
Yeah.
But within that time, if any important thing pops up, we can also come back and discuss it. So thanks for watching and stay with us. And on the guest side, I want to say thank you very much to him. He adequately addressed some of the things that people did not know. And I was trying to look at the legal point, but again, every law got some rule around it. And my reason for pressing on the legal side is because these people are lawmakers. If they are making a law, then we should all abide by the law. They shouldn't make a law for us, and then they be on the other side. And of course, I think the guest also said something important, that the Constitution of Liberia should be revisited. I think we need to, amend some clauses and some articles in there. I mean, these people got a lot of law. They made their own budget. Nobody can question it. Even they say they're getting 1 million, we can't say no. Okay? Then, yeah, we cannot question them. The Supreme Court does not have power over them. In fact, you talk about Kofa going to the Supreme Court. He also, I think, the last move he made at the Supreme Court, he withdrew it today. I got the information that he withdrew it.
Yeah.
So,
but what puzzles me, like, he's been a very renowned and informed lawyer. Why would he go to the Supreme Court? You know that Supreme Court doesn't have power over him. I mean, over this case. That's concerning.
Yeah, but that's the final arbiter of the justice system. So,
Yeah, but consider to what Henry Fubi said, the Supreme Court does not have power over the House.
Yeah, I agree. But
why would he go to the Supreme Court?
You sick. So if your stomach hurting, my man, somebody bring come water says if I didn't drink it when you're drinking. So I think he's looking for survival. So he can't bring him from.
Okay, guys, I have to see you guys soon.
Okay. So, but we just about done. So I don't know, Paul, you want to take us on?
Yeah, so say thanks to our viewers. Thanks for Phoebe for appearing, and wish to have him again. It was a good discussion. And to all of you that follow us, we're back here on Tuesday. Kindly click on the like button on our platform, so when we come out, you'll be notified. So yeah, I'll love to leave with this nice Liberian song, because it's Friday. This is what we do on a Friday. You guys, those that are going out, be careful out there. Those that are in the cold, be careful with the cold weather. And if you're sitting home, relax and enjoy this music. I will say good night and have a fantastic weekend.
Boy.
If we're pregnant, speak up.
Only records, Now you bad liquor on a table. You want you to don't can show yourself. Got plenty dancing, now you dancing, you get copy. I say don't can show yourself. You using Chani, Mr. Chani, I say to never don't can show yourself. You say you young for your sling on a papa bob, I say don't can show yourself. Get money, you want eat shawarma, eat some pizza, don't can show yourself. I using sense on you, using sense on your own Chani, don't can show yourself. Your Nina Kebe, you go, you say your Nina Sarah, don't can show yourself. Got too much bluffing, are you bluffing? You get nothing, I say don't can show yourself. them girls, you say I'm on a runway speed, don't can show yourself. You say you're Nina Johnny, you not get no money, I say don't can show yourself.